Okay, Wednesday, 27th of May, 2026. So, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Separate dopamine from principles in many different fields: investing, money, finance, structure, risk, systems, you name it. Dopamine is important with regards to getting attention and caring about things in the long term, being dedicated to it. Or even we could even use a nice little fancy word, to be sedulous, to be painstaking and being diligent. But understand that some people would use the appeal to dopamine, which we could say is the meta warning here, the appeal to dopamine, or the dopamine receptors, in order to get you hooked onto the product, let's say. So, product and risk overlooking the first principles of things. And I mean this especially in the context of finance, especially in the context of handling money, especially in the context of there was an interesting development recently in the Bitcoin space with regards to a new product being launched and how it was on a daily basis. Now, their excuse for that in this context was to do with volatility, but it didn't. It's still worth addressing the idea that just because something is high in dopamine and getting us hooked on it, it doesn't take away from the fact that its first principles are different. Meaning, in spite of how it appeals to dopamine, still remember and bear in mind the first principles of things on any single field or idea or level. The first principles still count no matter how often the dopamine receptors are hit. That's very important, because when the dopamine receptors are hit, it just means that the plumbing, the infrastructure and the mechanics are different, but the first principles, the plumbing, how sound a system is or an investment is still number one. That's very important to understand. We could almost say we have to separate our dopamine receptors, fortify our patience, and have sound principles with regards to business and systems and investment and beyond. That's important. Everything else is just flash and circus even, and then just for show. Bear the first principles always in mind. That's the number one thing. We could even go deeper to say something ought to be anti-dopamine, boring so to speak, in order for it to be sustainable. Arguably, yes, boring. So it goes hand in hand with our patience. The boringness of something means it has sound first principles, so it goes hand in hand with our patience into the future. That's very important, actually. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, but that's something very interesting I've realised very recently. That's worth understanding in life. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.